So the first thing is, one of the things I'm going to ask you to do is be able to pull the parts out of each form. The A, the B, the C, the A, the H, the Q, the A, the P, the Q, or the M and the Q, okay? So if I start off with standard form, the one I gave you should be in the top box. And what you should start off is give the A, the B, and the C of that equation. So what number would represent the A? Yeah, A equals 1. What number is going to represent our B? 6. B equals 6. And our C is 8. So make sure you can identify those parts. Because, I'm sorry. Yeah, the left part still is first. Yeah. Or you can just flip it. I did it front and back, but I wanted to do two together. Okay. Okay, so we're going to now do the axis of symmetry. So always, axis of symmetry is always first. I don't care what form you have. You're going to always need to do this. And this formula here goes for when it is a standard form. Okay? So we're just going to plug in the parts. Okay? Just plug it in, plug it in. I'm going to do this in black. So my B is 6. So this is negative on the outside. I plugged in 6 for B. This is over 2A. My A is 1. So I plug that in. Come on, you gotta get caught up. All right. So this gets simplified to negative 6 over 2. What's a negative 6 over 2 and divided by 2? So x equals negative 3. That is our axis of symmetry. Okay? So if you wanted to, you could show that line. Okay? Because your axis of symmetry is always going to be a vertical line. Okay? All right, now, so this is first. Okay? Now we're going to go to the vertex second. Yeah, we've been, but it's in different forms. So it depends on what form you have. But it's the same thing. Yeah, you're right. It is the same thing. Now, to do this, the vertex, you have to plug in x and solve for y. Okay, we're going to plug in our x, solve for y. Now, the equation, huh? Sorry. So, I'm going to use parentheses anytime I'm doing plugging it in. Yeah. So since we know the x equals 3 right here, I'm plugging in a negative 3 for every x. Then you have to follow PEMDAS. PEMDAS says parentheses first. That's your grouping symbol. Then exponent. A negative 3 squared, positive 9. Then I'm going to do 6 times a negative 3. Negative 18. Then I'm going to have this plus 8. So I'm just going to work it out left to right. So this becomes negative 9 plus 8. Huh? Yes. The y equals negative 1. Okay. So your vertex is the order pair -3, comma, -1. Okay. Now, don't forget, guys, your vertex represents the H and the K, right? Your H goes inside the parentheses squared. Your K is outside. So if I look at my vertex, my H is a -3. My K is a -1, right? And we already know A is 1. So I don't need to really write that. So that means that the vertex form is going to equal to, you can say 1 parentheses, but I don't really need that 1, but I'll leave it there for right now. This is going to be x plus 3 squared. Remember, you got to do the opposite, and then -1. That is our function, that f of x. Yeah. So positive. If you put it inside the parentheses, anything inside grouping becomes opposite. Now, like I said, remember I said you don't necessarily need that 1, so you could just have x plus 3 parentheses squared -1. All right, so intercept form. This is used when you have the x-intercepts. I don't know where that is because I have to get that off the graph. Okay, so this part, please do with me. What goes in the middle right here? Yeah, the vertex. Okay, so let's write that. Negative, oops, I what you said the first time, sorry. -3, -1. Put that there. That goes in the middle. Then if I just increase, like, follow my table, this would, well, yeah, this would be -4. This would be -2, then -1, and then -5. Okay, I'm going to show you a pattern, a rule that you can follow. Okay, to do this, we need to put our axes on here. So I'm going to, let's just draw it. Okay, I'm going to put it in purple so we can see. So I'm going to move mine over just a little bit. So I'm going to come down. Ooh, I hate doing it this way. Let me get slack. There we go. That's better. There's your Y. And then, there we go. There's our X. Okay.
Sorry, I'm back. I was pretty.
Okay. Okay. So, we're going to start off with the vertex. -3, -1. So we're going to plot that point. Okay. Remember, our axis of symmetry goes through that point. So I'm going to do a dash vertical line. Okay. Now, this rule right here, the +1 plus 1a plus 3a plus 5a rule. Okay. What was our a? 1. Okay. So in our problem, I have to go, let's go orange. In our problem, our a equaled 1, right? Okay, so if I am doing, actually I'm gonna do it over here. Our a equaled 1. So if I did 1 times 1, right? That's still just gonna be 1, right? Then if I do 3 times 1, that's still gonna be 3. So then my 5a is still 5. Okay, this pattern, what's happening between the numbers? Yeah, they are increasing by what? By 2, right? +2, +2. There we go, right? That's our pattern. So you're always increasing by 2. Okay, so what would be the next number? 7. Okay, so this is what happens in a quadratic. It's not, it kind of goes with your slope, but we don't have a constant slope, a constant rate of change because it's a curve. But there's a pattern, a constant change in that pattern between the 2 points. So here's how you can do this, guys. All right, so we start at your vertex, put your pencil on your vertex. We're going to do the 1. So that means you go to the right 1, up 1, plot that point. Okay? So 1, so to the right 1, then up 1. That's 1, right? All right, now we're going to do the 3. So now we're going to still go to the right one, but now we're going to go up 1, 2, 3. Slot that point. Okay, with me so far? Okay, I'll go back.
So you went up 1 and 103?
I went, yeah, I'm doing the 1, then I'm doing the 3, and then if I had room, I could do the 5.
You go on for
Yeah, the same pattern. Yes. Okay. Okay. So look, I'm using this because to me, you see those points that we have already? I know to get to the other point because all I have to do is reflect it. So this is 1 point over, then I just need to go 1 in the other direction. I don't know if y'all caught that. Okay. So there's that next point. How far is this point from the axis of symmetry? 2. So now go 2 to the left. There's that point. Okay. So when I had a -2, that was at 0. When I had a -1, that was at 3. When I had a -4, that was also at 0. And a -5 was at 3. You're not really paying attention. No, you're not. You're just copying. So you need to sketch. This is horrible. Here we go. Sketch your line through the points. Yes. Okay. So our domain is all real numbers.
You do like this?
No, that's right. The range, to get to your range, you have to use your vertex. And you have to see that this was a minimum. Where is that minimum at? -1. So, and it's opening up. So y is greater than or equal to -1. Huh? Roots and zeros. Okay, your roots and zeros are like your x-intercepts. Okay, so if I point right here, there, and there, right? Those are the roots. So where does the parabola or u touch the x-axis? Where does that happen? Yeah, at a -2, comma, -4. And we use this type of bracket. We don't use a parenthesis. Okay. This is also called your solution. So if I want the solution of the graph, it's your x-intercept. Okay. Now, back to our intercept form. Remember up here? You need the intercepts to do that. So if I plug this in, I'm going to erase it. You would get y equals, our roots were a -2 and a -4. So that was going to be x. So that's, remember, you put it inside the parentheses, you got to do the opposite. So x plus 2 and x plus 4. To get the roots, guys, you have to graph it. There's like, unless I give you the m and the p, or the p and the q. Unless I give you those numbers. Otherwise, you have to look at the graph. Just the intercept, yes. You saw what? Okay. All right, so let's look at the next one.
You can scroll down real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Are you gonna give us the function?
Yeah, I'm gonna give you the function always, or I give you the graph.
I'll give this.
Yeah. Okay. Tell me. That was the last thing I did. What? Let's. Okay, let's do another one. Maybe this will help. Okay. From here, what do we have to find out of the equation? Yeah. The A, the B, the C. Okay, look at the equation. What would be our A? Yep, -1. Very good. Okay. What would be our B? 0. Questions on that? Let me scroll down. Sorry, because I know y'all probably can't see it. Yeah, you have to have an X with it for it to be the B. Yes. So our C is the 4. Okay. Now we're gonna plug it in. -B over 2A. Well, that would have been a -0, which really is not possible, over 2 times -1, right? Well, guys, we're dividing here, right? Whenever time you 0 divide by any number, what is the answer?
0.
So this is just x equals 0. We're done. Okay? So now to get to the vertex, what do we have to do? Plug it in. Gotta take it, plug it in. All right, so if I have a -x squared plus 4, basically I'm plugging in a 0 in for the x squared. Well, what is that gonna just turn into? Just 0, right? So my answer, 4. So the y is 4. Okay, so I'm gonna put this in red because we want the vertex. The vertex is what?
It's doing that thing again on the screen
What thing is that?
where I can't see it. Like I can't see it.
Okay, hold on.
It just shows your face.
My face.
Yeah. Just like that. Oh, there you go.
Okay. All right. So the vertex is the h, which is the x coordinate. The x. Oops, sorry. The x coordinate was 0. The y coordinate was 4. So there's the vertex. Okay, you said you didn't understand the vertex form. So let's look at this. All right, we're going to start off with the A right here. What do we know that A equals? Right, that equals a -1. We had that up there, right? Okay, so we're going to substitute that part in. Oops, I'm not going to do it in that color, sorry. I'm going to do it in blue. -1, okay, parentheses, right? Then it says x minus h, okay? H is what part? Scroll down.
Slow down.
Okay. I'm not, okay, go ahead. Yes, h goes with the x, which is the 0. Yeah, yeah. So, yes. I gotta slow down a little bit. What's our, before I do that, Gabriel, what's our k? Yeah, the k is the 4, which is right there, right? Okay, they're gonna go outside the parentheses. Okay, so if you did x minus 0 squared, well, if I subtract 0, is that, what's gonna really happen there? Nothing. So what is it really? What's gonna be left here? Yeah, just x squared. The x is what's gonna be left inside. Right, just the x squared. Are we okay on that? Like, you don't need the parentheses. If you saw that it's just gonna be x squared, then you can just write that -1 x squared, if you want to do it that way too. Okay, and then we already know, you already told me what the k is. What's the k? So this is gonna be plus 4. Yeah, it is, because of the x being 0. That's why. Okay. All right. But from here, we have to go to the table. What goes in the middle of the table? Yep, the 0, 4, the vertex. Okay. Then we're just gonna increase our table. So it goes 1, 2. I should do it just in blue. 1, 2, and less, -1, -2. We need to create our axes. So I'm going to go kind of get down the middle here. There is my y. And then here is my x. Okay. We're going to start plot the vertex 0, 4. And so that lets me see that the y-axis is the axis of symmetry. All right. What is our A again? The A. Yeah, the A here is a -1, right? So if I do 1 times a -1, yeah, it's going to be -1. Okay, so that means instead of before we counted over 1, up 1, because, yeah, it has to go down, right? Because it's a -A. So from this point right here on the vertex, count over 1, down 1, and plot that point. So it goes 1, 3, 5. That's our pattern. So now from this point, count over 1, and now we're going to have to count down how many? No, because we're doing 1, 3, 5. We count down 3. 1, 2, 3. There's that point. Yes, we count down 5. Go over 1. Now count down 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's that point. Okay. So all these points get reflected. So because I see this point right here, I know the other one's on the other side of the y-axis. Because it's 1 unit away. Are we okay on that part? If I go to the next part, how far is this point from the y-axis? 2. So count 2 in the other direction. There's the reflection point. How far is the third point? 3 away. 1, 2, 3, right? So we're going to count 1, 2, 3. There it is. So if I'm at a +1, that point is at 3. I can get that off the graph. If I'm at 2, that point is at 0. I can get that off the graph. If I'm at a -1, it is also at 3. Off the graph. It is 0 off the graph. I can get this stuff off the graph using that pattern, 1, 3, 5. What negative sign? Yeah, I'm going to sketch my graph first. Oops. That's a little off, but I apologize. Okay. Before we go to domain, now that we have the graph, do we know where the intercepts are? Where are they? Yeah, at a +2 and a -2. So these are our roots or our intercepts. So now I can plug this in. I can do this part because I know these numbers right here. I know the root. -1 parentheses, because that was the A, right? And then we know this one is 2. So this is x minus 2. And then we know this one over here is -2. So that's now going to be x plus 2. What's your question? Okay. Yeah, the order doesn't matter. You could do plus and then minus. Yeah. All right. So we know this is our domain. Our real numbers, always all real numbers. The range now.
Why
Not greater than, because why not?
Why is less than?
Why is it less than?
Probably going down.
Because it's going down. Exactly.
Why is less than or greater? -1?
Where do you get -1 from? -1's right here. Or -1 on the y. No, it's 4. You have to look at where the max is. The max is 4 units up. Okay. And then our roots and our zeros, we just talked about those. 2 and -2.
So we don't put the whole point.
Nah, you could just put the number. If you did the whole point, you would do the order pair. So you would say 2, 0, and then -2, 0. Okay. So let's look at one more. Sorry. Anyone need, I'm sorry. Anyone need the, sorry. Okay. I don't know what's showing on my screen. Okay. So we're good? Yes or no? Okay, I'm going.
Yeah, I need to reciprocate. Oh, never mind.
All right, so this is the last one we're going to go over. Oh, let me fix this because I know. Huh?
We did the Alex separation.
Yes. Yes, yes, yes.
So we go there.
Yeah, and then the Alex. You can. What was that? I can't hear you.
For the Alex here today, that will be the show.
Yeah. Delete. Okay, so I just need to make a little bit of room. What do we do first from this equation? Yeah, find the A, find the B, and the C. All right. What is our A? 2. A equals 2. Good job. What's our B? Yeah, -8. Don't forget your sign. And your C? 6. Okay, so now we're going to go to our axis of symmetry. We're going to plug in the parts. So remember that B already has a negative, so when I plug it in, that's why I like to use parentheses, because it helps me with my signs. So this should be inside the parentheses a -8. All over 2, parentheses for my A. I'm plugging in the 2 for the A. So on the top right here, negative times a negative, that becomes a +8 over 4, right? So the X equals 2. There's our answer right there. X equals 2. Now we're going to plug it in. Okay? Since the equation is 2x squared minus 8x plus 6, wherever the x is, that's what we're plugging in the number. So we saw that x equals 2, so we're going to plug in parentheses. In the parentheses, I'm putting in the 2. And 2 squared is what?
4.
Yeah, so now we got 2 times 4. That is 8. What is 8 times 2? 16. So we got 8 minus 16 plus 6 to get to that y. What's 8? Yeah, what do you mean, the final answer? Or are you talking about what? Yeah, -8 and then plus 6, right? Yeah, so the y equals -2. You're right. So that means the vertex is 2, -2. Very good. All right, now we can plug in to the vertex form. Remember, because we have the A. Oops, I need to go this one. Our A we know is 2. We have the H. Okay, what is our H? It is also 2. Are you paying attention? And we have the K, which is a -2. So when I plug it in to the vertex form, it would be 2 parentheses x minus 2 squared, then -2. Okay. Can I do the factor form now? No, I need to see the graph to do the factor form. Okay. All right, let's practice this rule. Okay. What goes in the middle of our table? 2, -2. Put that there. Good. Let's get our axes on here. So let me get mine. Oops, so the wrong color. Make mine purple. So I'm going across here. That's my X. And then here. This is my Y. Yeah, so yeah, you said already we're increasing on the table. So 3 and 4 here. And then 1, 0 here. Are we okay on that part? Okay, so start with your vertex. Let's get that point on there. 2, -2. There it is right there. Then we're going to put our axis of symmetry. So I'm going to make this dashed vertical line. Okay. All right, I'm going to put what the A was. You told me A was 2. So what is 1A going to be? If A is 2, what is 1A? Oh, 1A means you're doing 1 times 2. Okay, so we get 2. All right, so then what's 3A going to be? 6. Very good. What's 5A going to be? 10. Okay, so we're not doing 1, 3, 5. We're doing 2, 6, 10. Yeah, what? 3A. 3 times 2. Is what? That's, well, you asked me how I got 6. That's how I got it. Yes. Okay. So, put your pencil on the vertex. We're always going over 1, but now for this one, we need to go up how many? Because we had a 2 here. So go over to the right 1. And now which direction do I move? Up 2. Put a point there. I don't know if y'all following me. Okay, so we did that one. All right, so now, Gable's not. So now, from this point, I'm watching you. Wait, okay, tell me how to move to the next point. How do I go to the next point? Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It comes right off a little bit. Are y'all with me on that part? Did I do that right? Oh, it's because my axes were lower. Okay. I can't do 10, obviously. That's going to be way off the graph. All right. Now, what do we do to these points? Reflect them. So that one I know is 1 over. So here's that point. That one is 2 over. So there's that point. So that lets me know 3 is where? 3 is at 0. 4 is at 6. 1 is also at 0. And 0 is at 6. So now I can sketch my graph. A U, my parabola, goes through these points, comes to the vertex, curves right back up through those points. There it is. Okay. What's the domain? All real numbers. Done. To get to my range, we have to know this minimum. Y, yes, very good. Greater than or equal to a -2. Because that minimum is at a -2. And then where are the roots? Yep. The roots are at, forgot to put this on here. These are the roots. So they're at 1, 3, this little bracket. So let's put it in intercept form or factor form. This is going to end up being 2 parentheses x minus, No, yeah, x minus 1 and x minus 3. Okay, and we're done. All right. So now you can work on the Alex.